going to look at the man who fights at your side.
Move! You hear that? What? You hear that? Move! You hear that? What? You hear that? Move! You hear that? What? You hear that? Oh yeah, it's your boy in blue. Move! You hear that? What? You hear that?
And what's going on, guys? Mike the Cop. Welcome to the first episode of the podcast, Off the Cuff. I'll be your host. I'm with my buddy Dave. And in this first episode, we're going to talk about things we hate about being cops. Love the comments. If you want to interact with us, you can go to my website, mikethecop.tv, where the full video of this will be posted. And you can interact there with us. Appreciate it. Enjoy.
What? You hear that? Move! You hear that?
The plan is that we would get a table that doesn't suck.
You hear that?
And then
Oh yeah.
this table's awesome. It's like from the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, it's vintage, I suppose. We could put some new laminate on it, maybe. Bring it into the now. But I want the, microphones. We wear headphones, and we'd be
important like Joe Rogan.
like a poor man's Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Well, suggestion: tablecloth. Okay, doilies.
Doilies.
Well, you don't have to. It's just an idea. It's just an idea. I just came up with.
Just throwing it out there. I get it. I get it.
Doilies. Whatever.
You know.
Make fun of me.
Hey, to each their own. I'm not going to judge you. I don't judge a man with cauliflower ear. That is a bad decision.
Yeah. Well.
Do you think that's true? Do you think that's a reasonable
Not if
principle to live by in life?
I do.
Don't mess with a guy with cauliflower ear.
I do, unless you also have cauliflower ear.
But what if you
Then
don't
you
get
can just take your
cauliflower ear?
chance.
What if you're not prone to that?
Well, that's the thing, right? I've always said this. And this is the truth. I always say, because doing martial arts, you become very humble. If you don't become humble, you don't last in martial arts.
I would say. Do you think that's true of all martial arts, or do you think it's mostly true of jiu-jitsu?
I think it's mostly true of any combat martial arts where, I say that, okay, combat martial arts, like that's not, like they're not all.
Yeah, that stuff. I don't know. Is that really combat? Is that really a combat martial art?
But let's be honest. There's every martial art has its thing, right? It's combat based. Self-defense type thing. So I look at it like, yes, I always say there's always somebody bigger and badder than you. Always.
That's impossible.
And they're usually within walking distance. So I always try to keep
Impossible.
myself...
I can't be defeated.
So humble. So I always try to keep myself humble. But
my particular style of martial art increases the ego. I mean, it's necessary for survival.
There's an energy.
It's called
I draw.
evolution of jitsu, and I actually have become more evolutionarily advanced.
And I get it because I'm more revolutionary.
This is not even what we're here to talk
I
about.
know.
This is not even the topic of the day.
Although we have discussed doing martial arts or talking about
We
martial
100%. Well, I
can't
100%.
believe we haven't made that a priority.
No, the next thing, right? The next thing we need to do. Why every cop should train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think we could riff on that
Why
pretty well.
every human being on earth
Just cops.
should-
I don't want everybody else to be at a disadvantage. How could I beat people up senselessly and
Well,
illegally?
I didn't say evolutionary jiu-jitsu. I said jiu-jitsu where they become humble, not where
Oh,
they gain.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I see like double of you. Do I wear too much?
you probably too many monsters.
Well, I did have 8, but
Okay,
my
so
heart feels weird.
Today's topic on our very cheap Joe Rogan knockoff podcast.
I love it.
Vodcast, whatever. Yeah, we'll snag the audio from this as well. We mentioned before, and for what we've done up to this point and currently what we're doing, we don't really prepare much.
That should be very apparent to the
It's
to the
really
listener.
off. It really is truly off the cuff. Like I've given very little thought. If actually by very little I mean I have not thought about this at all.
And I say the same thing because, well, think about it. We can't even get together.
No, it's very
the way
difficult.
things are. So when Mike came up with a topic, I was like, yeah, totally. And then that was like yesterday, and then I worked overtime, and I didn't think anything about it because of the stuff I had to deal with at work.
So if you haven't seen
Cut
our
through here.
stuff, then we've had producer coming through. Now we've really lowered the budget quality. We actually have stage hands walking through the shots.
It's so bad that he doesn't even try to hide it. Like, you know how like in
doesn't
the
even-
news they're like
He's not union.
and they do this. They go. He doesn't even bother trying anymore.
We've done some good stuff in the past. It's just
love
now.
my stuff.
Wait, I love your stuff as well. But it's kind of crazy. Your schedule's crazy. My schedule's been crazy, and trying to kind of like coordinate that into times to do stuff is what it is.
Yep.
I'd love to do more, and I think we should do more.
Right.
And I 100% think that our next one definitely needs to be on jiu-jitsu. So,
Agreed.
we'll make it happen. But today, you know what? I need to set the timer. I have a countdown clock. We're gonna. How long we've been going now? What's our time limit?
You've been on 48 minutes.
You've been going 5 minutes.
That's it?
37
Oh my God, we have
seconds.
so much
That's it.
time.
So much time. Let's do. What do you think? We'll set the timer and we'll talk about the topic of the day.
Yeah, sure. I don't even know what that means because I just talk. I talk. My wife hates me.
I'm gonna set it for 15 minutes,
Okay. For each one? For...
just for the day, for now.
I love that.
Okay,
We're
let's
going
see
to
what
totally
happens.
go over that, but go
We're
ahead.
gonna we're gonna demolish this.
Yeah,
thing,
but I love
whatever.
your sentiment.
And if people don't want to listen, then screw them.
Well,
But thanks for watching.
yeah, I hope you watch
Until
again. We really
maybe
enjoy it.
look
I
at
don't
that.
know.
We can cross the.
I can't believe how much money we make from this.
It's insane the amount of money.
It's Joe Rogan money.
We're making Joe Rogan money here.
You know what? Let's have him on.
All right, you
Well, that would-
freaks.
that would
All
change
right, you
things.
freaks. This episode of Mike and Dave Off the Cuff is brought to you by
Joe Rogan.
MikeTheCop.tv. I got some cool stuff. I've given Dave a free T-shirt.
You did.
All right, I got a couple more. I need to give you some more T-shirts.
Very janky.
What's janky? What are you doing back there?
This light stand,
He was here for an hour. He didn't set up.
I
Now
forgot
in
about
the
the
middle of
light.
the show, it's time.
So
it's
he's
time
the
to
only
set up.
one here worse than us.
Yeah. If there was two lazier people,
I bet if there was an earwig running around, you'd just jump right to it.
yeah. People still send me pictures of moths, dude.
I bet. As a matter of fact, it's funny because I jumped on the other day, like probably a week ago, just for grins. People actually still comment on
Oh,
those
it's great,
videos.
isn't it?
They're older. I'm like,
It's
oh,
great.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
love
think it is great.
All right, I started the timer. And you freeze. I don't know what to do. Okay. I don't know. Cascading cheese.
Rocket ship.
The topic that we threw out there, and maybe we don't have three things. I don't know.
I
Is
don't even know. We'll find out.
This is a good clickbaity title, right? 3 things we hate about being cops.
It's got to be that cheesy yellow writing because that's what grabs
Hey,
people.
don't make fun of my yellow
it's
writing.
It's not just you.
It's everybody.
It is
it's
everybody.
a YouTube thing. You got to do something.
You have to.
I've experimented with dropping off the yellow writing and having, I don't know.
It just doesn't quite.
I'm on the fence.
You just do like a hunter's orange, a blaze orange one.
Maybe
something
maybe in
different.
October, November. I'll just change with the seasons.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Pink for Easter.
Yeah.
Pink's like soft pastels.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up. All pink writing. That's
I like
gonna
you.
Look at me, I'm helping.
I represent.
I'm bringing awareness. I help.
I actually saw somebody's bumper sticker today that was "Fight Racism," and I'm like, really? Should we do that?
I have a bumper sticker. I'm helping.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It kills me. I don't understand it.
And we've offended half the crowd now.
It-
We've triggered some people for sure.
Sorry. Fight racism.
Fight racism.
Like, yeah.
I gotta mention the meme that I saw. What was it that I told you?
Not yet. Well,
Maybe we can
I
even.
don't want to get it wrong.
Maybe our editor,
Hey,
who is
can you turn down the mic level?
ruined
Yeah,
our.
a little bit.
I don't. Which one am I doing? Number 2.
Yeah.
I'll
number
turn down
2.
your level.
Yeah,
Turn down the
there.
levels. Right. We're good.
Just up a little bit more.
Up a little bit. Oh, now I'm a
Yeah.
producer. I'm a
I
hand.
didn't feel like
In-
walking.
Oh,
in the,
yeah, but
in the
you
small
were-
office space.
You were literally scaling the wall earlier.
Okay,
Yeah, I was.
I gotta look at my meme, and then maybe you can put this up on the screen for people to see. But I told you what it said. This is great and so true these days. If you say you're not racist, then why are you white? It's golden. All right, 3 things we hate. It doesn't have to be 3. I'm gonna put that in the title, and it could be a complete lie. That's clickbait.
Works every time.
Works every time. We talk about, people are going to click on this. 3 things I hate about being a cop in the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever it's
They're
been, is
going to
jujitsu,
Yeah, and they're going to hate
randomness,
us.
racist memes,
Oh,
making
yeah.
fun of awareness people.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Fighting
we
racism.
we are not doing well on
Okay,
time.
no, okay,
We
back
are,
to it.
We got 12 minutes and 18 seconds left on the timer
It doesn't
for
matter.
our
I don't
topic
have
of the
3
day.
things anyway.
I don't have. Okay, I think listen, there's a misconception, I think, that all cops, right, the thin blue line, we all have a secret society.
Right.
It's a handshake or something.
Whatever.
You get beat in,
Yeah.
whatever happens in those locker
Jumped
rooms.
in, is that what they
Jumped in, yeah.
Yes.
Your first day on the job, you get smashed with a nightstick and pepper sprayed and tased and then kicked.
What do you whack a guy, off a guy, whack off a guy?
All right, rookie, first thing you're going to do is go kill an innocent person. but I didn't sign up for that. That's what we do.
You do it.
And we don't talk about it either. We're the thin blue line.
We know why you joined.
We know
What?
why you're here.
Yeah.
You're a
And
racist.
It is amazing how that mentality is, where people think that because we are in a position of power, and it's true, I get that, that somehow the reason I did it is because I got beat up as a kid, or you know what I mean, or something.
Picked on
which
as a
I
kid,
did a little
yeah.
bit, but that doesn't matter. That's beside.
That's beside the point. It's just a coincidence that I am also now a cop and also was picked on as a child.
And that I have daddy issues, and my mom was not around. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'm not good enough yet for you, Mom.
So, but it is funny. You're right, absolutely. So there are always things that bother us as police officers, even though we're completely bulletproof, right? I mean, we're not human beings. We are in a secret society that wants to stomp on people and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. Right?
Although I've discovered, right, I think there is a necessary sense of, brotherhood or camaraderie. I think that goes along with being in law enforcement. But there's a lot of cops I don't like. So
That's
you're one of them. I mean,
I totally get that. Yeah, I get that. I still like you though.
I feel bad for saying that now.
No, it's just the truth. I get it. But that would be what.
This is a circle of trust.
We're in a circle of trust.
We're in it?
Of course we are.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't automatically, I think, just like somebody just because they're a cop. I think I might have been more like that maybe early on. Like, oh, you're a cop, I'm a cop, so we could probably be friends. And I learned that really there's nothing different in this profession as far as personally getting along with someone. It's no different than anything else in my life, really. I mean, like, at this point, just because you're a cop, I mean, like, I can acknowledge that we probably have a shared set of experiences that we could talk about or base something off of. But ultimately, it's going to be, do I get along with this person or not? Do I think that they're the kind of person who I would, want to actually hang out with outside of work or do something with or, whatever. So I think that there's a little bit of a misperception about all cops stand behind this mythical blue wall of silence.
The curtain.
Like,
no,
that we all think each other are the greatest thing ever.
Well, I'd have to agree with you on that, and especially because of kind of the perception through the media and everything else about how we stick together and all that other stuff. And of course, the reality is this: you're right. There's officers that I don't like. There's officers that don't like me. I can't even imagine that.
I don't know why,
but it does happen.
It's a cauliflower ear. They're intimidated.
Well, maybe that's not it. But in the end, the reason there's that perception is because there is that brotherhood or sisterhood, where the reality what that means is that we are willing to back each other up, right? So that we know that if we want to help whoever is in trouble, because really that's why a majority of us got in the profession. So that actually extends to our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, regardless. So
right.
We don't just want to help people in society. We actually want to help our brothers and sisters on the road if they're on a traffic stop or they're on a police run or anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what would you say? What would you say if the top thing maybe that you just hate about being a cop?
I mean, I was actually trying to think of funny things, but you know what I mean?
The funny things are what I like about being a cop.
Right. So for me, like one of the worst things is seeing in being serious is the fact that we see so much, and I think that a lot of people don't understand that, and they kind of expect that from us. So we see a lot of things that that most society never sees, and that's not always a good thing. But I do count myself fortunate to be able to see those types of things so that somebody else doesn't have to. I know that sounds kind of weird, a little bit cheesy.
Sure.
But sometimes you have to kind of justify why you go through some of the stuff that you go through. And so to me, like one of the biggest things is seeing things generational things that will never change, like especially in children, regarding families, and seeing that usually it's not necessarily, maybe it's a poverty thing at times, but you see this kind of this generational thing, and you know that the children, it's going to extend to the children, and that kind of bothers me. So that's one of the worst things that I see. When you see certain behaviors exhibited by children.
Yeah. So maybe like situations where you really step back and look. I can't make a difference in this. I kind of see,
right.
I see where this is going,
especially with
but
kids.
I can't directly. My job right now isn't to step in and do
and counsel
anything about this.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like there's times where, and I think that all police officers can understand this, is that there's times where you just go, I freaking hate being a police officer.
Yeah.
After you leave a run, whatever that run is, that's what I hate the most, is those runs, no matter what it is, where afterwards you go, I hate being a police officer.
Yeah.
Because of what, maybe you had to do something you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe you had to, you know what I mean? And so I think that's like the biggest thing for me. Any of those kind of runs.
I think that touches on actually something that people expect of police officers, which I think they have a right to expect in terms of professionalism, a calm, even demeanor when you engage a police officer. I do think that people have a right to expect that, and a right, not in the constitutional right, but like in it, treating people with dignity and respect in general. But being incapable in some sense of understanding that maybe you see a situation that's terrible, horrific, whatever it is, frustrating, and then you don't have the luxury to leave that and then just go think about it for a while or take a couple of hours. You might leave that
right to the next one,
right to the next thing, and then right to the next thing, and then sometimes that compounds,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
maybe I normally wouldn't snap at a driver that I was engaging on a traffic stop or backing up an officer on, but if I had tried CPR on a 6-month-old and it failed 40 minutes before that,
right,
maybe I would snap. Maybe I would be a little edgier. Maybe I wouldn't excuse me, be as patient, with someone as in general I ought to be.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, well, that's what you're trained to do. Like, well,
there's
we're
still
people.
a level,
we're
I'm
people.
a human being.
So
which is funny because people expect for us to not act like human beings. However, they expect to be treated like human beings by us. Right? And so there's always that clash. So I absolutely agree with you on that, for sure.
I think mine, if I had to try to identify it as one, and I feel like I kind of almost have gotten over this, but it's still always there, is the frustration that exists between the actual criminal justice system and what we do as sort of like the frontline first responders and law enforcement. So, you can work really, really hard or put a really good case together. You could do, arrest someone that you really made a difference by stopping them from doing what they were doing, arresting them, writing a great report, making sure all the, the I's were dotted, T's were crossed, everything is good, and then all of a sudden it gets into the legal system, the court system, and we don't even probably have time to get into all why that would be, but
right.
You see and you're like, wait a second, how can they let this guy go, or how could they have reduced that to this? This guy's back out there going to do the same thing again, or situations like that. That really was probably my first, man, I hate this about being a cop. And you kind of, because you see it, I think probably around the 2 to 3 year mark. That's my experience in watching new cops come on. Like, you start out, right, you're like, I'm going to change the world.
Hit the ground running.
I'm going to buy ice cream for little kids, and then I'm going to stop this guy from shooting someone, and then this is going to happen.
100-mile-an-hour chase. I'm going to catch the bad guy.
Absolutely. You're gung-ho, and I think the motivation's right, but, you're young and eager or whatever. And then about 2 or 3 years in, you start realizing, like, I'm not gaining a lot of ground here. They haven't retired me because there's no more crime. I really anticipated that this would be over now.
I'm looking at the stats, and things haven't changed much, which is weird because we have a population growth, and yet I don't know. The stats get worse.
Yeah. No, you go knocking on the chief's door, like, I'm not sure you're aware. I thought that I was going to eradicate all crime.
Chief, I did some awesome crap back there, and it doesn't seem that it's really made a difference.
Is it that no one else is pulling their weight around here, or
how are things going on your end, Chief?
I mean, could you maybe be doing a little bit more, Chief?
Well, it's a good example. Is something that happened a few years back, probably longer than that now. The older I get, like all of a sudden I'm like, well, that was 15 years ago, But where there was an incident where.
Back in my day,
oh my gosh,
the horses pulled us to our runs.
Don't even get me started with that, But it was one of those things where I was like, we did everything right, and we made an arrest. We did everything right, and it went to trial, and it went to a jury trial, and I think essentially it came down to, like, who do you believe? Do you believe that guy or do you believe that guy? And I had done everything right. And despite doing everything right, and they still said, in the end they said, I don't believe this police officer is telling the truth. I believe this young guy is telling the truth, or whatever it is. And that really hurt. Like I know it sounds kind of weird because I have a lot of time on the job, but it was like one of those where you just, it's that reconfirmation where, like you said, like you're not gaining ground, and no matter what you do, because that's what's so frustrating is you feel like you're gaining, and then all of a sudden you get hit like that. Like, I don't know what to do. I did everything right. I was well within my right, and this was the result. And I still think we have the greatest justice system in the world. Don't get me wrong. It's not even a dispute. But
I would much rather have bad luck in the American justice system than good luck in a Mexican justice system.
Exactly, right. So it's
triggered.
But it's still the best in the world.
This podcast is going to be huge.
Huge. But so
we will strike them with fire. I do a terrible Donald Trump. I don't.
Maybe he can do a voiceover for you. Or
yeah,
something.
maybe. No. Oh, he can barely set up lights on time.
I'll just embarrass you in front of everybody.
So anyway, so there's that. Obviously there's that. Yeah. There's always that frustration. That would be another thing that is, for me, one of the worst parts of the job. But that's not even all the time. That's every once in a while you kind of get that reminder, and it's frustrating because, again, when you do everything right and things don't work out, I think that's just anything in life is like that. Like I did everything perfect. And then it just hits you in the face,
So I feel like I guess I get it now. I'm aware of it, but it doesn't make it any better per se. But it's just definitely a real big frustration. Only because I think that part of what I try to do with all that I'm doing on social media is fight the battle of perception. Right? That's where it is, because most people are fine with cops. Most cops are fine with people. There really isn't the issue that people want to make it to be.
It's a minority where the media makes it a majority, right? And that's been going on since the beginning of the media.
That's the way media works, and I mean, I think that people know that, right? It sounds better. If it bleeds, it leads.
That's
How now, brown cow? Coming to you live from the what is happening back there?
We have here.
Either way. So I mean, I think it's a perception issue, and I think that's one of the things that's hard to fight, is because police officers then get kind of lumped in with criminal justice as a whole. So like if people take exception to like, well, I can't believe marijuana's not legal, so you're just ruining people's lives over a plant. Like, hold on, buddy.
Right.
We did not make the law.
Yeah.
If it was legal to, if this was Nazi Germany and you just swallowing it, like, come on, buddy. Okay, listen, don't be the young boy that cried Nazi. Okay, like.
But it's not just that. It is the justice system where maybe something didn't work out. Like, you guys didn't even prosecute my brother or whatever. I'm like, look, I don't even know you. How would I know your brher? And I'm just here to take a report, man. You just dumped a lot of stuff on me.
What color was your stolen bike?
You just bumped up a lot of stuff. What's your date of birth again?
Let's start at the beginning. So those things can be frustrating, to just fight the battle of perception, which is why I guess we're doing things like this. But
Ooh, I know one more. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Praying mantises. No.
Throwback.
Yeah. Circle.
It is Throwback Thursday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sure. That and this is going to be amusing because this is going to divide law enforcement.
Uh-oh.
It's going to literally
Get
split
ready.
the blue line in half.
We're doing it right here, right now.
Right here,
This is
right now.
happening.
This
I don't even know what's coming.
This is your freaking clickbait, bro, brah.
I might change the title.
Yeah,
lay it on me.
Wait like 48 minutes to get it, like, and then afterwards they're like, "Oh my god." That was
Oh, by the way, our
stupid.
countdown has been gone for I don't know how long.
Okay, yeah. We'll wrap it up.
It's a countdown clock update.
But this is gonna put the divide in police work. So now, okay, so back when I first started, I was like, those old timers are freaking lazy. Those guys don't do nothing. I hate those guys. God, if they could only. But where are they? They don't even love the job anymore. You know, I don't know what language that was. That was something. But and now I'm that guy who's like, those guys, they just shut up on the radio. My God.
Traffic stops in the
I
rain
know,
at 2:30 in the morning. What are you doing?
At 4:30 in the morning, it's just pissing down. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna be out with a car and blah blah blah. And then my thing is,
Then you got to go back them up, and you're like,
It's like-
what do you got? I think I might smell a little marijuana.
I smell some of the Mary Jane. So the devil's lettuce is about.
I don't know if he's running it up here from Mexico, but like
directly from Russia. It's
his
a
name-
roach, dude. It's
yeah,
a roach.
He told you he had a little bit of weed. He lives around the corner. He's not from Mexico.
And he's got his car.
He's wearing his McDonald's uniform. He just came from work.
and
Yeah,
so
but
there is.
I'll
that.
take a 7-piece nugget. Gotcha.
No problem. but it
Get
is
6
funny.
pieces plus an extra nugget of something special.
But it is that. So I've split it. So you have young officer but I get it. And I was actually just talking to an officer today, and he said the same thing. He's like, he goes, I get it. We need new officers because those are the runners, gunners, and all that.
Yeah.
Gunners. Hopefully not gunners. Like, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Ew, don't want to set anybody off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is again. That's a frustrating part of the job too.
Absolutely.
And especially when they think that you haven't done anything. You're lazy, or and you're like.
Right.
You have no idea what I've done.
Exactly. You
You
know,
know?
it's there are a few guys I've seen, and it is very few. They've got 19 years on in patrol, and they still show up like, hey, let's get out there, guys. You know,
I have
I'm like,
no
what
idea
the
how that
heck?
is even humanly possible.
I don't know either. The thing is, it's I'm a firm believer, actually, when you bring this up. I think that the patrol life of a cop, I don't know how you could quantify this, because if you work in a really busy spot, it's one thing. If you might work in a rural area where you just don't go in a lot. There's some places where what you see in a year is what some departments would see in 10. You know, it's
Right,
so I don't know that this would be equal across the board. In
Yeah.
my experience, I reached that 8-year mark, and I'm just like, I'm tired.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
Absolutely.
we shouldn't. You're putting people in it every day on this. I don't know what's coming. I mean, there is certain things that are normative in the job, but I mean, sort of like this hyper vigilance. You're kind of out there doing the job all the time. I really think there should be a cap on that. There shouldn't have guys on the road for 20 years.
Well, and that's been my thing. That's all I've ever done is road, 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, and that does make it rough because there's no change, there's no kickstart,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And again, that is a departmental thing. So I've been to a few departments, and so every time you go to a new department, you're starting over again. And so maybe you get somebody gets this, other people get that, and whatever. But it is tough when you're on the road. I mean, I talked to an officer a long time ago. He's like, Dave, 20 years, man. That's all I got. Like
Right.
After 20 years of working road, you're done. You're burned out. You're done. And I can't say he's wrong. I mean, it does happen.
Yeah.
But it can be rough sometimes. But isn't that way with a lot of jobs? I mean,
Yeah, probably. I just don't have that. I don't have the experience. I don't have the experience to quantify it. So somewhere in the comments, somebody's going to be like, "Yeah, I've been painting cars for 20 years, and I want to, jump off a bridge."
yeah, no, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, but there are those people, man. It's like, I guess you got the do what you love and you never go to work. I actually love doing law enforcement, but it's a job that just it can wear on you. I think
Absolutely.
to do just patrol, maybe if you moved into different things and had different ways to break it up, and some departments are big enough, and if you're a go-getter, you can do that or whatever. But a lot of places just they don't have all the special task force that you can just move around to
Right.
or whatever else. It's like it's patrol or detective bureau, and that's about it.
I wonder if I can trigger a 25-year vet somehow by saying, if you're that guy after 25 years, like, hey, hum diddly do, can't wait to get on there. You're wrong. You are wrong.
Probably.
Trigger
Minutes,
this.
by the way. 30
Huh?
minutes, by the way. So.
We're only at 30.
Oh, we did well.
That's not bad. I'll do
Yeah.
one more, and this is going to be a straight lie because we're going to say 3 things we hate, but we're only
Yeah.
doing 2.
I'm doing better than you.
You are.
That's not even true. I just
know.
wanted to assume that.
The other thing that I hate is how much at even the local level for municipal agencies, politics drive
That's
the
a
policies and procedures of a department.
That is a sensitive subject. Obviously.
is.
It's hard to speak on that because we all know. I mean, I think there's an element of politics in probably any line of work,
Yeah.
especially any government job, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's name names.
And circumstances and incidents. And
Yes.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
The new title is Whistleblowers, Mike and Dave.
We're gonna find ourselves hemmed up in Russia somewhere.
Right now, there's somebody watching in this moment, in the future, in the video. See, I knew all cops are corrupt, and you're just
told ya."
covering for them. That is the blue wall of silence.
I know. We're gonna be in Russia, and Trump's gonna be like demanding our return.
We're the new Snowdens, Dave and Mike in exile in Russia.
And it'll be like spies like us.
We'll be doing judo. We'll be doing judo with Putin.
That would be great.
Shirtless photos emerging everywhere. Us 3
riding bears.
bareback. Yeah, actual bears.
Yeah,
Yes.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Rocky training sequences in the snow. Me and you.
Best soundtrack ever.
Best soundtrack ever. Hey, speaking of jiu-jitsu again, I'll always come back.
What?
Great soundtrack to roll to.
Yeah, that and I have a cheesy '80s Jits soundtrack that I like to
Yeah,
do.
but don't you use like Rhapsody or some bullcrap? You don't use Spotify. I use Spotify, and I
Yeah.
can't find all the same songs that you have.
That's your problem.
Well, nah, you need to get with the program and
So if
build me a
Spotify
playlist.
or Rhapsody wants to,
You could
it's
sponsor.
not Rhapsody, it's Napster.
Napster exists.
It's
How
Napster
is
now.
Metallica allowing this?
Yeah, I thought the same. It's the first thing that came to mind. I'm like,
Did
what?
Napster get destroyed
This is
by
an
Lars?
outrage. But the best thing about this is that Bob Seger is streaming now, and he's
Oh.
the true king of rock and roll. I'm sure Elvis was okay.
He likes the old time rock and roll.
You son of a gun.
See what I did there?
So, but anyway, yeah. So
Some people are listening to this like, I got teenagers that'll watch and be like, Bob Seger.
Bob
Google
Seger.
Bob Seger.
Bob Sager.
Bob
Is that
Seger.
with an A?
S-E-E.
S-A-Y-G-E-R.
Mm.
He's coming to concert September.
Did you buy me tickets?
This is awkward now.
Interesting. Okay, I thought we were friends. Moving on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton of time to go into the whole politics things, but
It is rough.
it is.
And you
it can
said
ham.
anyone
It
that's
can
got over a
hamstring
year
you.
on the job knows that it
Right,
is
like
yeah.
where it happens, where a lot of people today are going to notice it is in major events like protests or something where there's a stand down order because of political positioning and posturing. They're saying we don't want you to do your job right now,
Right.
or we want you to do this with your job in this situation. And it's also not what you would normally do. It could go either way. You could like pull back, go forward.
Right.
and-
Neither is necessarily wrong.
Right.
Depending on a crowd or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, and I don't doubt that the people that make those decisions have the best intentions in mind. I don't think anybody wants to see officers injured.
Right.
Especially fellow officers or upper echelon at all. And that's why it's called politics. That's
Yeah,
from the
I
politics,
think
is
a
they're
lot of
trying
their
to weigh,
they don't. I don't think that politicians often they don't understand the job. So I don't think it's typically malicious. I just think it's
No.
ignorant. They're ignorant.
Right.
And I say that in the legitimate sense of the word. They just don't know what they don't know.
Yes.
And so they can make decisions with a pen that they don't understand how that will ultimately impact people on a day-to-day basis on the road.
Or especially in a, like you said, a situation, a rally situation, like the one recently in Virginia. Obviously, a tragic. It's a horrible event.
Yeah.
But and I'm not saying that the police could have done anything differently. I'm just using it as an example where it will affect. Politics will affect a situation like that immediately.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Well,
there's always
that-
something in play.
I think the reason that I hate what the politics do to the people serving, as law enforcement officers, is that it sticks us in the middle, right? So, like, the cops, if you look up, like, Google search, where were the police in Charlottesville last weekend, right?
Right.
It's literally like both sides agree that the police are to blame for this death. Like, it's everywhere. Like,
Right.
where were they didn't do enough? Like, and you get stuck because you're like, well, wait a second, are we too militarized or are we not doing enough? It's these
Right.
extremes.
Well,
So we're stuck between Antifa and the alt-right, and somehow they have like this West Side Story thing
Right.
where like, I don't know, they've got bats and clubs and spray and stuff, and somehow the police are to blame because two groups of people decide that they want to beat the snot out of each other, and someone
Right.
tragically is killed because of this identity politics going on. And where are the cops? They're taking blame and they're stuck in the middle. Like, great.
Yeah, well, yeah, and again, it's a no-win situation regardless,
Right.
Because that is a whole other conversation. As a matter of fact, that might even lead us into another conversation at some point.
It may.
Regarding something like
It may.
that.
Let's take a look at some maybe lighthearted things that other cops hate. I pulled up. I asked a few people on the internet.
I love it.
I'll scroll through this, and we don't need to dwell, I suppose. Shift work, making your sleeping schedule. Shit kind of sucks.
What I love about that is like, that's right,
Yep.
that's right.
Yeah, that sucks.
We were just talking about that. I'm a zombie now.
Yeah. When I went from midnights, I did midnights for a lot of years, which I actually prefer for a lot of reasons. But when I did go to the day shift, and it took me like 2 or 3 months, and I realized, holy crap, I was walking around most of my life in a fog.
Yes.
Your body is not designed to do police work on midnight shift. It's
No.
terrible, but I enjoy it yet more because
And I've
because
done
there's
it
not as
pretty
many
much my whole
there's not as
career,
many
so.
politicking bosses around to be like, oh, you should do that. Whistleblower.
So it is totally different environment.
How about while eating lunch, somebody walks up and says, I don't want to disturb you, but I have a question. And then they stay 5 more minutes after saying they didn't want to disturb you.
Can I just say this real quick? It is funny that you say that, because actually no, I probably shouldn't say that just because of the place I work. That
Whistleblower.
there'll be
Whistleblower.
No, I
You,
can't.
hey,
No.
you're immune from prosecution.
No, no.
You're immune
I just
from
don't want
everything.
people
They
to
can't
know-
fire you.
I don't want people to know where I work, and they would
can't
know
fire you.
immediately.
They can't fire you.
You can't ever fire me ever for any
You
reason.
cannot. Nothing can happen to you if
Why
you
did I use
if
a
you
southern
whistleblow.
accent?
Nothing can happen to you.
You have to. You go doot doot. Whistleblowing session number 1. Is this mic on?
I said with all due respect. Didn't know you had your balls surgically removed. All right. Friends thinking you can do something about everything.
I don't normally get that.
I do get
I think because I've been
can
around
you fix
for
a ticket
so long.
question, but
Yeah.
I mean that's not really. I don't know.
Yeah, that's usually for. I think that's normally for officers who maybe are a little bit newer, because then the family doesn't know what to expect, or
Yeah.
friends don't know what to expect yet.
Someone echoed your sentiment that the feeling at times of being helpless, even though you have done your best.
Yep.
So
Sucks.
there you go. Babysitting grown adults. Turnkey.
My wife does that for me all the time. So
Yeah, I agree with that. Other cops. Ooh, interesting.
Hey,
We did say
did
that.
talk
We
about
did
that.
kind of talk about that. It's a profession dominated by type A personalities, and the friction is ever present. Add to that list the political backdrop of what
Man.
commands. Wow.
we are just echoing.
Is there? Are they
It's
tapped
almost.
in? Are they tapped into this?
It's almost a common.
Did you secure
it's a
the
common
room?
Theme.
Did you secure the room? We've got to talk
They've
about
already started
security here.
leaking. Yeah.
WikiLeaks has
This is
already
like
gotten
the
a hold
White
of
House.
This is WikiLeaks.
This is worse than the White House.
This
leaks.
is driving us to Russian wilderness. All right. Lack of support by administration. Okay.
Yeah. It does happen. Yeah.
Parents tell you to take their kids to jail so that they fear us. Yeah, I mean that's sort of like
I always thought
that's
that
an
was silly.
that's an annoyance, but I don't know that I really hate that about
yeah,
the
because
job.
I can
but-
present myself in a way where that's not.
Sure,
much
you
of an
just
issue.
you fix it. Be like, you can change that
Yeah, I
perception.
will lock your ass up. I will lock you up
That's
forever.
right. You bed better be made.
And then I'm going to kill your parents because that's what I do. I'll
right.
take it too far.
Yeah, you crossed a line. We're gonna catch some hate
I
for
drew a
that.
line and then I crossed that.
See, I knew that all cops are corrupt and hide behind the blue wall of silence. Dave killed a man, and Mike is covering.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Well, it happens.
It's happened. Whistleblowing. Don't whistleblow us. Okay. Giving directions? Wow, buddy, you are jaded.
I don't.
He
You know
hates-
what? It's funny.
Excuse me, do you know? That seems like one of the best things about our job is because it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, it's
Maybe
right down
because
there.
For some reason, every single time he's actually doing something, like he's trying to eat or
Yeah,
shit
he's
or whoever
typing
it is.
a report,
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
"Excuse
oh
me."
come on! I just got done with it. Maybe I don't mind that.
It's
though.
like that-
I can get. Hey, I have no
Directions. Giving directions is easy.
I don't mind that. Like I said, I don't mind because everyone has their own.
You know when I don't like giving directions? When the road's closed. I only know one way home.
Make rights.
Is the
Make
road
a lot of
closed?
rights.
Excuse me, is
Excuse
the road
me,
closed?
I need to get through because my house is just right
It's
over
right
there.
there. This is my street.
You know what? Actually, yeah. Continue past there over the dead body and
Go ahead.
and
Yeah,
then
just
make your
drive.
right.
Once you feel the
bump on
right
the
side
left
of the
side?
car, drive over the body. Then make sure you don't fall in the sinkhole that was caused by the accident
Yeah.
that killed the person you're going to run over.
And when you get out, try not to slip on the blood, and you should be good to go. All right then.
Okay, I don't know what this means. The 7-Eleven bathroom and people with Walmart feet. I've heard of the people of Walmart. I don't know that there's a video of Walmart feet.
I don't know about that either. Although I
Search
can
it up.
understand these.
I don't want to Google that stuff. I don't want that on my history.
The 7-Eleven bathroom. Maybe they're just kind of extending that to.
I like my 7-Eleven bathroom. I have a very trusted restroom at a 7-Eleven.
Really?
Yes.
I do not. Wow. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, so there we go. Those are some of the City Hall. Well, we kind of covered that. Court. Effing court. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Some of those things happen.
That's all true. Like I said,
But,
I
it is-
don't downplay anybody's pet peeve, man. 'Cause we
It's,
all do.
yeah. The smell of your vest.
I don't. My vest never smells.
I spray
Matter
mine
of
with
fact,
Febreze, but it can...
I don't either. But you know what? I very rarely sweat, and when I sweat, I don't even wear deodorant.
Do you have a medical condition?
If I do, it's the best one ever. Because I don't.
I've seen you sweat.
I will sweat, but I don't smell. If I smell,
You're right.
then there's an issue.
I have had my nose buried deep in
Well
parts of
within-
your...
well within the crevices and
Within
crevices.
crevices that should smell when sweating. And
See, told
now
you.
that you mention it,
I've actually boggled some minds of some of the officers. They're like, "How do you not smell?" They're like, "Oh my god, I can't stand this." I'm
what
like-
about the person
and I'm
who,
like
just
this, I'm like,
who thought we were
"Oh."
boring for most of this and then fast forward and then like stop? I have actually had my face buried in these crevices. What?
What is that
And they
weird?
gotta go. You gotta go
Now-
back to
now
the.
I gotta
you gotta
rewind.
hit. They gotta go to the beginning and listen
Yeah.
to jujitsu, right?
I
That's
agree.
this is it all. Jujitsu is everything.
Jujitsu's life.
It all comes back. It all comes back to that. So I
it is.
think it's funny that people they just obviously said some funny things here in this list, but at the heart of it is kind of like the main things that
We went
we
over
already brought up.
because we're amazing.
We're amazing. Well, we're right about everything. Is essentially what it comes down to.
It's not essential. It's
If you
it's
listen
absolute
to-
fact. It's scientifically.
Are we
factual.
naming this show off the cuff? Is that okay?
I love it
Off the cuff.
because it's
It
seriously.
seriously is off the. We pick the topic. We have some time to think about it a little bit, but we don't research. We have no statistics.
Nope. I have absolutely nothing to back anything up.
Our entire ideology is baseless.
Just like
we got
yours.
some. Oh wait, we got some Walmart feet footage. Is this
Oh.
real? Is this like
Oh,
what?
wow.
What site is this? Because if this is a foot
be
fetish
honest.
thing, I
It's-
don't want. I don't
it's
want your mother
huge,
finding
dude.
this in my history.
That is weird. It's just a
Yeah,
lady in
it
flip
says
flops, man.
Candid Walmart feet.
That's weird.
This is a
I-
thing.
you know what's weird about that is
the weird thing
I like
is
my
that
Walmarts.
A guy is sitting there filming a stranger.
I know.
This is messed up, dude.
That is messed up. You know what?
Yeah.
I like my Walmarts.
And that's
I
not a
love
porn
my
site.
Walmarts.
That's like a legit. Oh, look at those other feet in the sandals.
Those are
That's
Walmart feet?
that's really veiny. Oh my goodness.
Old lady feet.
We're
I mean, don't even
One
get
of
down
my
that.
best.
Nah, okay. We're done. McSuckables.
McSuckables, dude. That's his name.
McSuckab-
Don't look him up.
Do not look
him
up McSuckables. Okay, let's not give him any more views. Let's not
Wow.
encourage this behavior. It's probably illegal.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
I'm gonna research it, but it's probably illegal.
There's
All
a good
right.
chance I'm going to jail.
Suckables, you might want to lay low. There is no more room on the Russia bus with us, okay? All right, so Off the Cuff, episode 1. Really, I mean, we've done some other, like,
This
beta.
is beta one? Or
No more beta.
This is the real deal.
We have a cheap Joe Rogan-esque studio,
Yeah.
a couple of cameras, and a mic.
All right,
And
then.
us.
Good.
And our baseless ideas.
They mean nothing to anybody.
that anybody can disagree with and probably be
And
right.
will. And will
they will.
disagree.
We
And
will
will
have
be
it.
right.
They will. We will have absolutely insanely ignorant comments
I hope
on this
so.
video, and I can't wait to mock them and pin them at the top, so that all of our commenters can pile on them and make them embarrassed to be here.
Love it.
All right, Off the Cuff, episode 1, and cut.